Why would Jesus, the Son of God, insist on crossing a stormy sea in the dead of night? Why would he sail toward a land where no one had called for him? Was it an accident, or was it a rescue mission? A man, a madman, roamed the cemeteries, his body covered in scars, his voice lost in the cries of demons. The world had given up on him. The people had whispered about him in fear, mothers had pulled their children away from his path, and the elders had long stopped praying for his recovery. He was beyond help, beyond saving, or so they thought. But Jesus, he was coming just for him. Not even a raging storm could stop him, because this was no ordinary man. This was a messenger, an evangelist trapped in chains, waiting to be set free. The devil thought he had won. The demons thought they had claimed another life. The town believed they had lost him forever. But what if the one everyone had written off was the very one God had chosen? What if the most broken person became the most powerful testimony? And what if Jesus is on his way for you? The sea stretched endlessly before them, shimmering under the Tanzanian sun. Fishermen had spoken of its moods, the way it could be calm one moment and wild the next. That day, as Jesus and his disciples stepped into the wooden boat at a mainland dock near Dar es Salaam, the air was thick with something unseen. It was not just the humidity that clung to their skin. It was something deeper. A battle was about to be fought, but not with swords or spears. No, this was a battle for a soul that had been chained, tormented, and cast aside. A man known throughout the island region was beyond human help. Yet, Jesus was coming for him. As the boat pushed off, the disciples settled in, adjusting their seats and tightening their robes against the breeze. Jesus, however, lay down at the back of the boat, resting. He knew where they were going. He knew why. He also knew who didn't want them to arrive. The wind started as a whisper. Then it became a growl. Within minutes, the sea, which had been gentle, turned violent. Waves towered like giants, crashing down with thunderous force. The fishermen among them, Peter and John, had seen storms before. But this was different. Lightning slashed across the sky, illuminating their terrified faces. Water poured into the boat, drenching their clothes. They shouted, trying to steady the vessel, but the more they struggled, the worse it got. And through it all, Jesus slept.
Master, wake up! Don't you care if we drown?
Peter cried, shaking him. Jesus opened his eyes. He looked at the storm, then at his disciples, fear gripping their faces. He stood, steady despite the raging waves, lifted his hand, and spoke 3 words.
Peace, be still.
Immediately, the wind stopped. The waves calmed. The storm was no more. The disciples stared, breathless.
Who is this man that even the wind and the sea obey him?
But Jesus wasn't impressed by the storm. His concern was elsewhere.
Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?
The storm had been a distraction, an attempt to stop them, because on the other side of the sea, a greater battle awaited. They reached the shores of an island near Zanzibar. It was beautiful. Palm trees swayed, and the smell of the ocean lingered in the air. But beneath the beauty lay something sinister. The people of the island feared one place, a deserted area where no one dared go. That was where he lived. For years, the villagers had spoken of the madman. He was once a normal man, maybe even a leader. But something changed. Darkness took hold of him. He lived among the caves and graveyards, naked, wild, screaming through the night. The villagers had tried to restrain him, chains, ropes, even prayers, but nothing worked. His strength was supernatural. He would break the chains like paper, and his wails would send shivers down the bravest man's spine. Mothers warned their children, "Stay away from the cemetery. The madman is there." They had given up on him. Some even wished for his death, believing that only then would their village know peace. To them, he was beyond repair, beyond restoration. He was lost, beyond repair, beyond restoration, but not beyond Jesus. As Jesus stepped onto the shore, the man appeared. His body bore fresh wounds where he had cut himself with sharp stones. His hair was tangled, his skin smeared with dirt, his eyes wild, tormented, filled with 1,000 voices. He ran toward Jesus, falling to his knees, trembling. But it was not Jesus who spoke first.
"What do you want with me, Son of the Most High God? Have you come to torment us before our time?"
The disciples gasped. They had seen demons before, but never like this. Jesus' voice was firm.
What is your name?
The response came in a guttural, unearthly tone.
"Legion, for we are many."
3,000? 6,000? The numbers didn't matter. What mattered was that they knew their time was up. They begged Jesus not to send them into the abyss. Instead, they saw a herd of pigs on a nearby hill.
"Send us there."
They pleaded. Jesus nodded.
Go.
The moment he spoke, the man let out a cry, long and deep, then silence, and suddenly a commotion. The pigs, hundreds of them, rushed down the hill straight into the sea, drowning in a chaotic frenzy. The madman collapsed. When he opened his eyes, the torment was gone. For the first time in years, he felt peace. He was free. The townspeople came running. They had seen the pigs drown. Now they saw something even more shocking. The madman, clothed, calm, sitting at Jesus' feet, listening, learning. Fear gripped them. Who is this man who can heal such a person? They pleaded with Jesus to leave. His power was too great. They were afraid of what else he might do. But the healed man, he had only one request.
"Lord, let me follow you."
Jesus smiled.
No. Go home. Tell them what God has done for you.
And so, the one who had been lost became a messenger. He went from town to town, Dar es Salaam, Bagamoyo, Zanzibar, Dodoma, Mwanza, Arusha, 10 cities, proclaiming the mercy of Jesus. This is what Jesus does. He steps into the storms, no matter how violent. He crosses seas, no matter how dangerous. He reaches the unreachable. He restores the irreparable. Maybe you feel beyond saving. Maybe you think your situation is hopeless. But if Jesus could free a man bound by 3,000 demons, how much more can he do for you? He didn't just come for the world. He came for you. No storm, no chain, no force of darkness can stop him. The madman became an evangelist. What will you become when Jesus sets you free?